What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the Sunbelt Syndicate. We've got a special episode for you today. We've got a couple more guys to add to the screen, and we're going to have some special guests. TJ Corman cannot join us tonight, but we're going off the books anyway. Going to do something different here. We are going to have football meet flavor tonight. The culture of the conference gets poured a little neat. And today we're doing something a little different and a whole lot of fun. And we're going to have a couple more guys join the stage with us now. So joining us, we have Chad Dickens, a resident Southern Miss fan and connoisseur of what we'll be talking about tonight. We have Mr. David Schultz, as everyone knows, from the LockedOn Sunbelt podcast, your daily source for Sunbelt news. And, of course, we have the all-knowledgeable herd fan, Russ Livingood himself. Welcome to the show, gentlemen. Thank you very much for being here.
Oh, no. The Russ man's on tonight? If I'd have known he was coming, I'd have bowed out real quick because he's more knowledgeable than I am. As long as we don't talk about food. Thanks for having me on again, Dom. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for being here. And Dave, you know a little something about bourbon and
a little.
That's
not as much as I'd probably like to think, but I got a little bit, yeah.
And I know Russ, the barrel behind you doesn't speak anything into your knowledge of that type of thing at all, right?
Yeah, not at all. I mean, I'm not sitting here with my big block ice and my Marshall leather stamped holder with my bourbon. And I know we might talk about what's going into the glasses, but because this is Sunbelt centric, I brought over one of the JMU bourbons. So
nice.
Anyone?
Fancy.
Anyone else out there in Sunbelt land that would like to send me a bourbon so I can put it on any type of show, send away.
What kind of bourbon is that? Whose bourbon is that?
JMU, and it's done by the Montpelier Collective. It's their
but what's on the back of the bottle?
Oh, I know. I was trying to get to there by telling you who it was. But it's they sell this and get money to their
correct
NIL and all that. And this is made by Swill Dog, and it's actually in West Virginia, not Virginia. It's from Upper Tract, West Virginia. So, a little bit of JMU flavor here.
Very nice. It looks like, from what I've seen from them, it's called Champions Drive, which I believe is also one of their parking lots, right? And then they have like Lot C, Lot F. So they have, I guess, every year maybe they're making a new version?
I think it's a couple a year. I had F lot before. This is P lot, and I think that I had a different one. This might be the third different one that I've had. Pays to know those JMU guys.
Yeah, I'd say so.
What are what are the details of the bottle other than that? You got an age and a proof?
Yeah, 47.5 on the percentage. So you're looking at 95 proof. And I don't know the age. I don't know that it's on here. But
so more than 4 years old.
And this is collection 01, bottle number 373 out of 1200.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
cheers.
Well, I'm just doing the Knob Creek. I'm just doing Knob Creek 12.
Hey, that plays.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I'm going with the Makers Wood Finish series from what year? 25. So this year's Woodmaker series. And since you want to show off bottles, Russ, this one, it's got the little buffalo on there, see? Yeah. But it's also signed from Toby Kurtzinger. And if you're familiar with Pappygate, Mr. Dave, Toby was the one who was behind all of it. Got locked up, this, that, and the other.
Wow.
Yeah, and nice. Met him he came down last year and told his side of the stories and everything from the Netflix documentary and all that good stuff. He came down and spent about 3 hours with us last year. And if you haven't watched the documentary, I'd watch it.
You need to watch it. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and then if Toby ever ends up anywhere near your city or town, go listen, because he gets so much more in depth than what the documentary got into. He goes a bit more behind the scenes. And of course, there's things he cannot say, but for about 3 hours, I was just, holy crap.
Yeah, I bet.
But I mean, but the guy paid his dues, he did his time. And he actually puts on a really good presentation. So if you guys ever hear that he's coming to town to do a little meet and greet story, whatever, it's worth the money to go.
All right.
Chad, I thought you would have toilet wine.
What?
I said I thought you'd have toilet wine.
I mean, that crap you brought me 2 years ago? Or
I
a
thought
year ago?
That was a year ago, and I think you enjoyed it.
I still got some.
Oh, well, with showing off bottles, I've got Woodinville bourbon whiskey here,
nice.
So I cheated a little bit, but that's what.
Why did you cheat? Why is that cheating?
Well, I mean, it wasn't straight bourbon; it's the bourbon whiskey, type of thing. I guess I don't know.
No,
right?
That's bourbon.
I mean,
isn't it bourbon?
Yeah, it works.
Well, they call it straight bourbon whiskey, right? I mean, I guess technically bourbon and whiskey are two different things. So, Dave, you probably
but that's probably, if it says bourbon on it, it's bourbon.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be made in Kentucky. That's made out in Washington. Their 8-year was very good in 2024, maybe. I got the 9-year, which is pretty good. They don't have an age statement on their cash strength, so it's a little pricey for maybe 5 or 6 years. But Woodinville's very good. In fact, I didn't get the 9-year. I got the 12-year. I got a 12-year from Woodinville.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you my address, Dave, and send me a little taster of that one, please.
If you didn't get pasted 41-14, we may have been heading your way for a Sunbelt championship game, but that didn't happen. I was all set to go to Lincoln Road Package Center.
Oh, the Lincoln Road, man, they've got some amazing stuff. And they work with the To the Top Collective up there at Southern. And I want to say they've got a bottle out right now for the collective. And Peter Bain told me who did it. And I can't for the life of me remember who it is now.
Didn't the owner play baseball for Southern Miss?
I believe. Don't quote me.
No, I'm pretty sure he did because the coach told me he did.
I believe he did. I know he's done several barrel picks with Southern.
No, they got a bunch of single barrel picks. Yeah.
Oh, they've got a bunch of great stuff. They did a Eagle Rare one several years ago, and they were selling it $100 a bottle. And I was like, no, I'm not paying $100 for a bottle.
That's a little bit much for Eagle Rare.
Exactly. Even on a barrel pick. And now I'm paying. Now, if it's $100 and it's good, I'm not batting an eye. But that Woodinville, Woodinville you're speaking of, I've had their cast strength, and I think it's 114, 115 proof.
Yeah.
And it does not taste or finish like a 114.
In fact, that was on sale the other day, Chad. I probably should have gotten it, but I just don't know how old it is. I don't know what I'm buying. So
yeah,
that's the only problem.
It's anything, and you're going to know this 10 times more than I would. It's either going to be just under 2 years or just over 2 years.
The Woodinville would be?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. So for those who don't know.
It's a young one, but it's
to
good.
be a Kentucky straight whiskey, you got to have it at least 2 years old.
Yeah.
If you're less than 4 years old, you got to tell me how old it is.
Right.
Once it goes over 4 years, you don't have to tell me. Like Basil Hayden doesn't have an age statement on it because it's about 6 years old.
Yeah. And Woodinville's, if I'm not mistaken, they're fairly young still.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Compared to a lot of these other distilleries. But they've got a great product. One of the casinos down here in Gulfport, they had a Woodinville tasting earlier this year during Mardi Gras season, I think it was. And a couple in our crew, they went and each got a bottle, and they gave me one of them. And I want to say it was just the straight bourbon, and my decanter's about half full now.
Nice.
So it's sneaky good, sneaky delicious.
Nice.
So,
well, Destiny says hello, Chad. So definitely wanted to get that in there. Getting a little insider information from Ben James a little early. I guess it's probably not too much of a surprise, but it sounds like SportsCenter is going to be heading indoors due to the rain over in Jonesboro tomorrow for that one. And Michael was chiming in here. I think that's going to say Michael. It says, let's go Herd. We need to be bowl eligible. But it'll be a tough game against App State. And Russ has just put in all the work behind there to figure out that one.
Will that be a tough game against App State? I mean,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, if it's all right to talk football on this bourbon show, I'll say it is. No matter what's going on, it is always tough to go to Boone. Some people have gone down there and taken care of business this year, but you can never count out App State at Boone at home because that place is rocking. They have loyal fans. They turn out, and anybody can beat anybody in the sunbelt on any given week. I'm a believer of, but especially playing at App State, it's always tough.
They just have not played well since the second half against Coastal Carolina, at all. Whereas Texas State was losing, but it was always in the last seconds. It was always in the last minute.
Well, I think that Marshall should have gone down and won at Coastal, and we did not. So I never take anything for granted, and I always think that it's tough to play at Boone.
Yeah. Let me see if I can get everybody on there. Well, those are the standings as I adjust this. But yeah, that's kind of the current look. And in a minute, I'll put up the current teams that are in a bowl game as we see them right now. And I mean,
I think they counted 5 teams that are bowl eligible with 5 more teams that can be bowl eligible.
Yep.
There you go.
Right there. So currently James Madison, Coastal, Southern Miss, ODU, and Troy. But you're right. Jumping back into this one, we've got some teams that are on the cusp there, including Georgia Southern, Marshall, App State if they win out, Texas State if they win out, and the Cajuns do have 2 games left. Yep.
Cajuns and Arkansas State. The thing is, I think those all 3 of those teams, Georgia Southern, Marshall, and App, and although they play each other, they can all become bowl eligible.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Can we not mention Texas State, please?
What happened with Texas State?
I'm still.
I don't remember
that one. I'm still a little hurt. And I've got Texas State paired up pretty good over here. Their record doesn't speak for how sneaky good they are.
Mm-hmm. Marshall beat them though.
Nobody cares about Marshall, but you.
I'm not sure sneaky is the right word.
They're sneaky good, and Southern found out the hard way. But we couldn't stop them on defense, couldn't do anything on offense. but those sons of guns are sneaky good, and I
really
hate
tough.
that they were
really
their
tough
record.
offensively, not so great defensively. But
when we kicked off, and next thing I know, they're sitting on our 10. I'm like, what the hell just happened here? We're not even 5 minutes into the ball game, and they're 10 already. What the hell happened?
When they played the Cajuns, I was trying to post something on Twitter, and they scored before I got back to the game. They scored 3 plays in. Yeah,
I
they
believe
scored
it.
fast.
I mean, that running back 7. I pray to God.
Perry.
Thank God they're going for the Pac-12 next season, because I don't want to face that guy again ever.
I didn't realize how short he was. He's a little dude. I did not.
They have a bunch of 5'7" guys all throughout their roster on offense and defense.
Bo Sparks is pretty good. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
The way he was.
Jackson's not a big guy either, right? The quarterback's also pretty small.
No,
they listed him at 6 foot, and on our preview show for that, I said, when you have a college athlete, especially a quarterback, that is listed as 6 foot even, there's no way that dude's
short.
either he's 5'10" or 5'11".
Yeah.
I mean, the way 7 was cutting in and out and attacking, he reminded me a lot of a couple of Southern Miss greats. Edo Smith being one of them, Desmond Fletcher being another one of them, and Derek Nix as another one. And a lot of them go way back and throwing Sammy Winder. All of them were under 6 feet.
Yeah.
And
Edo Smith, is he from Mobile?
I believe he is, yes.
Yeah, I met him. Yeah, he's trying to get into media. That was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, Edo had a great career at Southern. I got the chance to meet him this past Saturday at the ball game, and just a great guy.
He was a nice man. Yeah, nice kid.
He really was, and God, was he fast. He was really good. But that kid from Texas State just ran it down our throat. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, so let's jump into this. Just like bourbon pairs well with appetizers, desserts, bold entrees, depending on your taste profile. Tonight we're going to be pairing up each Sunbelt school with the bourbon that kind of fits its identity, including not just this season, okay? So because there's going to be some stuff that people disagree with. We're going to have disagreements on, between all of us on screen as well, and that's okay. But we're going to try and do stuff that fits the tradition, a little bit of the flavor profile, the vibes, all going into the tasting notes. And we're going to start off with one familiar to Dave here. And let's see if I can pull this up and start it with a larceny for the Cajuns. I'll let you go and totally destroy this one, Dave. But a wheated bourbon known for being smooth up front, but hiding a punch. UL is the kind of program that looks calm, collected, family-oriented until they smack you in the mouth on a random Thursday night in Lafayette. Larceny.
So that would probably be a little larceny. You could have gone with one of the quarterly releases, like the cask strength, like the barrel strength. That would have been a good one for the Raging Cajuns. But larceny is a good standby. You can see it's 92 proof. It's smooth, goes down easy, but some of their cask strength is really good and generally affordable. I believe it's a Heaven Hill product, and I'm never sure why they are, let's just say, more affordable than the Elijah Craig ones. Maybe they're younger, I don't know. But I like larceny. I think larceny is good. I have plenty of that in my collection.
Nice. But they say the description I got here is larceny's sneaky heat on the back end is the perfect embodiment of Cajun country. Warm, welcoming, and always more dangerous than you think. If you're pairing it with a dessert, think something sweet but with a kick, like a beignet dusted with cayenne. I don't think I'd mind taking that, but
I'm interested.
So if you did one of the cask strength ones, then you could have with a little spice on the back end of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other ones that you guys want to throw out there that you think fit the flavor profile better or differently, or I don't know. Chad, you thinking anything there for the Cajuns?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm going. I've only had 2 weeks to get ready for this, and here I am at 6:30 at night putting my list together. But largely it'll pack that punch. But for me, for you, I know they hate that, but I can't help it. Sorry. I went with that high proof Stag Junior. It's hot, about 120 odd proof. It packs that pop. It's gonna smack you in the mouth. You're gonna know you've had that Stag Junior after a drink, and you're gonna feel it. And you're gonna feel it the next day if you have more than 2 drinks. I found out the hard way.
Dave, you wouldn't grab the bottle there?
Yeah, this is the one. This is the barrel proof. This is the barrel proof one. So that's there's your Spice 126.4. This is the C923 one. This is from the back end of 2023. So
okay.
That's where you're gonna have a little kick on the back end of it, a little spice on the back end of it. Or maybe a lot of spice.
Any thoughts on the Cajun wine? You actually traveled down there this year, if I'm not mistaken, met up with Rage and Review guys, and I don't know. Did you partake in any?
No, I haven't been down
activity?
there this year. No, I didn't. I haven't gone back. Have I gone back? No, I haven't gone back in a minute.
Sorry. That was Russ. I was pointing that to.
Oh, Russ.
Yeah, I drove down and back. It's 2,080 miles round trip, and it was fun, man. I loved Lafayette. I loved the culture down there. I got to talk to the Rage and Review guys, and they were very welcoming at their tailgate. And some other tailgaters around there invited us over too. I didn't drink any bourbon that I remember. I had a bunch of their beer, and I took down some blackberry lemon West Virginia mountain water. It's got a little bit of other things in it too, but I took down some from the motherland. I took down to Louisiana with me, so there wasn't any bourbon. There was West Virginia mountain water. Yeah,
firewater. Yeah. Don't lie, Russ. You went for the food.
I did. And let me tell you, it was great, man. If you're ever down that way, the beignets were great. Old Time Grocery, getting a shrimp po' boy, it was as advertised.
Yep. Been lucky enough to go to Old Time myself, and I totally agree. Should be a staple every time you go down and visit there.
Yeah, agreed.
Dave, being down there, is that something that the locals frequent a lot even too?
Oh yeah. It's right there by campus. I lived around the corner from it for a few years, but there's so much good food. I mean, you could hit that, once a week or once a month, and you still wouldn't, miss out on good food.
Yeah, I keep up with them social media wise, and I think they have like a specialty sandwich like every week or so. I think.
Oh, goodness.
So, like some staff members get to put together their own sandwich and kind of sell it. So that seems like a pretty cool thing too, to kind of keep it rolling there. Speaking of keeping it rolling, we'll move on to Coastal Carolina. The one reason I did this was from a previous coach to start with, but this is Stag. It's a high proof chaos with a cult following, is what this write-up says. Coastal fans live for volatility. When the Chanticleers are rolling, they're must-see TV. When they're spiraling, it's a spectacle. Stag's firepower mirrors the teal turf energy, bright, loud, and not for beginners. The other choice that Chad gave us previously was chicken cock.
Yeah,
that one kind of explains itself, but as Chad says, you don't want to go after that one. So
no, and it's still my choice today. It is. Don't go anywhere near it. It is boring. There's nothing wow about it. the only good thing the chicken cock is for is an old fashioned. That's it.
Chad, but that double oak is supposed to be a good bottle. I haven't pointed up for that. But the double oak is supposed to be a good bottle.
If I can find it, Dave, I'll
be on the lookout for that.
I'll try it. If I come across it, I'll try it because you said so.
Yeah. That's going to be much easier to find than that stag. I'll tell you that.
I had when I retired, coming up on 2 years now, from Publix in February a couple of years ago. And two of my great vendors, I won't say whom or whatever, they found out and they said, "You said true?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm retired finally." And well, okay, well, we got something for you. Well, whatever. Next day, knocked the door, and he comes in with this big brown bag. Oh, okay. And they gave me a bottle of the Stag Junior and a bottle of Colonel Taylor as a retirement present. And like, thank you. Here's the keys to my car. Right out here. Put them in the back seat. The Stag Junior, I think I ended up giving it away because I'm not a Stag fan. Yeah, it's nice to look at, nice to have for your collection, but it's not one of these where it would have taken me 3 years to get rid of it.
Chad's not a high proof guy.
No, I don't mind a high proof as long, as it tastes good. And to me, that Stag, like chicken cock, doesn't taste good. So I ended up giving it to the president of our Mardi Gras crew down here. I was like, "Here you go. Merry Christmas. You can have it."
Well, yeah, that's a good gift.
I mean, because he loves those higher proof, spicier bourbons and rye. He loves them. And me, I'm like, "No, no. Just, I want to be. I don't want to be gasping for air after I've had that first sip or that second sip going. Oh my God, I want to go down nice and smooth." Shut up, Russ. So, yeah.
Oh man, I saw Russ got
chickens.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I just said Russ got a pour, so I joined him, and I poured a little bit more in too. But
it was a man's pour. It was four fingers.
There you go.
There's a joke.
People
there,
have jobs. Jeez.
Yeah, I got a job. I've also got a tolerance. I mean, build one. Come on.
Wait, but my question is, are you still by yourself with the dogs and the young one, and your wife left you here all alone?
No, she's back, brother. I'm over in the apartment that's next door, and I know that sounds bad for anybody listening that doesn't know what I'm talking about. We have a detached apartment, and that's where I shoot the podcast stuff when no one's staying in it. But no, she's back from her work trips, and the kids are in bed. She's got the dogs over there while I have a couple of pours with you roustabouts.
I'm glad you explained that, because I think people would have thought exactly what you were explaining.
I was listening to what I was saying. I was like, people are thinking, I had to go. I got kicked out and had to go live in an apartment. This thing with Coastal. I know it's not technically a bourbon; it's a blended American whiskey. But the one that came to mind for me was Redneck Riviera, and it has nothing to do with the team. It has everything to do with people like where I'm from and other places that go to Myrtle all the time.
That's what it's called. Oh yeah,
it just
popped in my head.
Yeah,
and we're as much to blame and not the team that it is associated with. But that's what came to mind. And technically, it's not a bourbon, so it doesn't qualify.
We'll let it slide. Stretch it. Redneck Riviera. We'll let it go.
Yeah, I think a lot
they
of
need to be more in the Redneck Riviera than bourbon, anyways.
Yeah.
True.
I used to live in the Redneck Riviera.
Wow. That's a really good point. Any last notes or tidbits for Coastal Carolina?
I'm good.
No.
Okay. Samari Collier's not as hurt as they thought he was. So
that was weird. I saw that.
Yeah, he may be back for a bowl game.
Bowl game, yeah.
So that's in a month. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, Tim Beck thought he was going to be gone for a year, is what it sounded like.
Yeah, he is a senior as well, right? So, like, that would be his final game for Coastal in general, right? Or is he one of those seniors that has more eligibility?
Well, that's it. Yeah. Tough to keep track. My understanding is that Marshall will be looking for a new quarterback. But I don't know about Samari.
Gotcha.
Is Carlos out of eligibility? Is this his last year of eligibility?
As far as I expect, yes. But with some of the things that I've seen the last 4 years or something with eligibility, I don't know if I'd bet on it.
Right. You know? Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's why people have asked me that too sometimes when I've run across other ones. And I'm like, I don't keep up with that because it doesn't matter until it matters, right? Like going towards next season, we're going to figure out if somebody suddenly gets another year because one of the JUCO years don't count or whatever.
We just played against TJ Finley, and I'm pretty sure that he was in school when I was at Marshall.
Yeah, I don't think you're
wrong, I'm nearly half Chad's age at 46.
Wow.
He played for Ed Orgeron at LSU.
Yeah.
That's how long ago he played.
Oh, damn it, Russ. I'm going to get you.
They're going to be on coach number 3. He's still in college football.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. That's crazy. Crazy. Got to set a twin boys, I think it is, too. So
I think so,
yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Crazy. Let's jump into the next one. Get back into this pairing exercise. Old Dominion paired with Elijah Craig. Clean, elegant, royal even? I don't know if that's a little bit of a stretch. Elijah Craig bills himself as the father of bourbon, and ODU's program often feels a little more mature beyond its years. Again, this isn't necessarily just football related. So ODU is pretty good in a number of other sports. They're quietly consistent. They're sneaky tough, always respectable. Don't demand a lot of attention, but they do what they can to earn it. Thoughts on the pairing? We'll start with Dave this time with Elijah Craig and ODU.
So I'm going to say this. This is the way I refer to these places. Elijah Craig is very proud of their bourbon. We'll just put it that. We're going to put it that way. All right.
Yeah, they are.
As ODU is proud of their school and athletics program. All right. Just we're going to put it. We're going to put it that way. Although I also got another bottle of them. I have not. When I do it, I just got a bottle of the Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel Proof, which I had not been able to find. And again, they are very proud of that bourbon. It is not. I wouldn't say it was unaffordable, but it was. I haven't tasted it yet because most of my stuff's actually not open. But Elijah Craig's a solid bourbon. Elijah Craig, and especially not necessarily with the PGA on there, but generally speaking, it's a $30-$35 bottle of bourbon. It's tough to go wrong with that. That PGA sticker is going to cost you a little bit more money, but
I will say I grabbed the PGA one because of the blue for the Monarchs. I kind of did, I knew it was a specialty kind of thing, but I said, hey, they got a blue label. I'll put that one on there. So yeah, that's the purpose for that one. Is that what you had there, Chad? You had that exact bottle?
Yeah, this is the. Hold on, where's my eyeballs? Sorry, shut up, Russ. This is from the 2023 Ryder Cup Toasted Barrel.
Okay.
You can see it's about halfway, I guess. And this is the Toasted Barrel, 94 proof. Delicious little pour. But I went. I like ODU. I'm thinking there's that Woodinville Straight.
Okay.
Just because of I like that mash bill. Looking at 70% corn, little 22% on the rye, and about 6% malted barley. Pops out, I think, just under 100, maybe 100 proof. And it's sneaky good all around.
Okay.
And that's why I went. I mean, I'll agree to the, I like Elijah Craig, and not many people know that Elijah Craig was a Baptist preacher.
Huh.
Back
I did
in
not know.
what? Yeah, he was a Baptist preacher, and that's a tidbit of a lot of people did not know that Elijah Craig was a Baptist preacher and started a distillery.
I want to know. I want to get Russ's thoughts too, but I want to know real quick Dave's opinion, because I felt like when I was down there at Media Days last year, and I know you went this summer, I feel like some of our coaching guys, our guys in head coaching positions, could be Baptist preachers with how they speak at the podium.
Oh yeah,
a couple of them.
Oh sure,
there's several.
Yeah. Russ, thoughts on Elijah Craig pairing with ODU here?
That description was very, very good and fit, but the first thing that popped into my mind was Jefferson's Ocean, and it's because Norfolk is right there on the on the coast, so it's right there on the bay. I think of a couple of different things when I think of ODU, even though it's not in Maryland. It's right there at Chesapeake Bay, and I always think of Natty Boh with natural Bohemian beer, and you put the Old Bay Old Bay seasoning, around the rim of the glass. And I think of that because they're right there at Chesapeake Bay. But Jefferson's Ocean was the first thing that came into mind, how close to the coast they are.
I do like that. That's a good one. I like that.
And I don't know which Jefferson's Ocean. I would defer to the two degenerates to my left and above me. I gotta. But
have a good
I'm not as organized as I had been. I just got the Jefferson's cask strength.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
I've got the Ocean.
Very good. All right. You've got the Ocean over there too?
Yeah, I got the Ocean somewhere, but then I've got a Jefferson. I want to say it's the Pritchard, and it's finished off in a red wine cask. So if you like Cabernets, then go for it. If you're not a Cabernet fan, stay away from it. Sorry.
You can taste it.
Look, a squirrel. Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. Well, let's get into South Alabama. I've paired them up with Four Roses, a floral balance crowd pleaser. Mobile, Alabama, the birthplace of Mardi Gras, whether New Orleans likes it or not. Four Roses pairs well with the bright, in-your-face atmosphere of a downtown celebration. Smooth, fragrant, and sneaky versatility. Thoughts on Four Roses for the Jags of South Alabama? Russ, let's start with you on that one.
First, I got to say something about Four Roses instead of the team. Is my wife has a coworker is the wife of Brent Elliott, who is the bourbon master. Dave, what's it called?
Master Distiller.
Yeah, Master Distiller. Four Roses, and every company Christmas party they would do a white elephant gift, and he always brought suspiciously a wrap package that looked exactly like a Four Roses bottle, and it was. So it was one that he whipped up for that party, a very small batch, and
wow,
it went around pretty well. But I don't know that I would associate Four Roses. I associate it so much with Kentucky that, and that's, we don't have a Kentucky team, obviously, in the sunbelt, but it just never crossed my mind that it would be South Alabama. And I don't really know what to pair it with. So sure, it sounds good to me.
My initial reasoning for this was a little bit like Camellia Bowl related because of the area. Maybe you could do that with the roses. It was a little stretch, of course, but Dave, let's go just up from there.
I'll give you one if you want to pair it with Alabama. So kind of young, up and coming, can be explosive. There's an Alabama bourbon named Detling.
Okay.
That's a craft distillery. When I met him, it was a part-time thing, and now it's grown so fast over the last 5 years or so, it's their full-time job. But that's made in Alabama. I think it was made out of his house to begin with. But it's grown so fast, can be explosive. The regular bottles are solid, but then, again, those barrel picks or those cask strength bourbons can be explosive. And we used to see that when the previous coach was there, and we and ULM got a little piece of it, this weekend. It was 14-0, and it was 14-7 at halftime, and they scored 26 unanswered points because they just could not stop Bishop Davenport. They couldn't cover Anthony Eager, and they couldn't stop the South Alabama running game, which ended up being explosive and consistent at the same time.
Nice. Chad,
Agreed.
Thoughts on on this pairing here?
Yeah, I like it. But I'm gonna go a little notch up and throw in the Four Roses, the small batch select, or even hit it with a Russell 13. Both high quality.
Those are two different bourbons, Chad. What are you doing?
Hey, this is my turn. So, okay, you know what? All right, okay, sure. Okay, we'll keep it small batch select.
That's solid.
It absolute delicious. Good high quality. And like South Alabama's football team, I'm sorry, Destiny, if you're still listening, do not shoot me. It's unbeaten against Southern Miss. Destiny's gonna kill me when she sees me.
Well, she has it out for Mr. TJ Corman, our usual co-host on this one, because TJ did not expect Southern Miss to be a very good football team this year. So, but he is just getting off work and saying he's jumping on to.
I didn't either.
No, okay.
No, okay. I had us. I had us legit 500, maybe 5-7.
I think we talked about that in the off season. You and I,
we did.
6-6 being the good year. Yeah.
Yep. And I'd have been just fine with 5-7.
Yeah.
But here we are at 7-3. Nobody saw that coming. I mean, if you had Southern Miss right now,
I did.
At 7-3.
Let me see. Hold on.
You better go buy a lottery ticket because you're gonna win.
Let me pull my paperwork out.
Yeah, please. Yeah, I don't think anybody has.
Well, I had them over the 4.5 wins. I didn't put anything on it, but I said I absolutely had them winning more than 4.5.
You're the only smart one around us.
I think those Super Talk guys had them winning a bunch of games too.
Yeah, I had them at 6-6.
Okay. I think the Super Talk guys, Borky and those guys had them 500 maybe.
Oh, I thought they had them more. What are we hearing about Braxton for this weekend?
I haven't heard anything yet. I heard, we all pull up tailgating and somebody says, yeah, Braxton's done it for the year. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? I heard his knee. I'm like, oh, that's news to me. Ended up, they got tear of his PCL. They held him out last week. Huff said that they had a practice either Monday or Tuesday night. You're going to see how Braxton did and go from there. I hope he can play. But I'm no orthopedic surgeon, but I have had my PCL done. I tore it.
You're no pediatric surgeon?
It's an orthopedic knucklehead.
Oh.
Have a drink.
If you drink more, you might become one.
I think I will, Chad.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. But no, like with me, I mean, they went in, scoped it, and I was good to go after about 6 weeks. But Braxton is 1,000 times better shape than I'm in. And
Chad, no joking. How long ago was that, though?
Oh God, this would have been 90.
Yeah. So end it right there. Here's the deal.
Yeah,
true.
You get people right now getting their hips replaced, and they have them walk immediately after the surgery is completed. They stitch you up and they say, "Get up and walk down the hall," and you go home that very day. So, I mean, in today's thing with an athlete that's in a great condition and everything, I'm sure the recovery time is way, way shorter nowadays.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it also depends on the swelling behind the knee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the big kicker. Is there a lot of swelling? Yada yada yada. But as of now, I haven't heard anything. I'm sure Huff will announce in the next couple of days if he's going to be game time or not. But I'd love to have him back. Nothing against Liddy. Liddy's a good quarterback. Yeah, he made had a few turnovers, but it is what it is. So my fingers crossed he's back, because I would love to finally beat South Al at something in my lifetime. Because I mean they've owned us. Go ahead.
Let's jump into Southern Miss while we're on the subject here. Right. This one's on the nose to the tooth, whatever you want to call it here. I went with Eagle Rare. Aged, distinguished, storied. Southern Miss has history, decades of big wins, iconic players, and a football brand built on toughness and tradition. Eagle Rare is a nod to that legacy, refined yet rugged. Dave, let's start with you on this one. I mean, is it just too obvious, or you got something else you think makes more sense?
You got Old Soul sitting in Mississippi is the only thing. The problem with Eagle Rare is it's tough to find. It's a solid bourbon, but it's just not readily available. Everything we've talked about outside of Stag Jr. and Chad's Russell 13, you can find. And that's why, you could go, I'll go all Jim Beam Homer. I'll just go regular Knob Creek 9-year-old because it's solid. You can find it, outside of last week, it shows up every week. Right.
True. Yeah.
What about last year though? They only showed up once last year. No.
Well, they had their issues last year.
Yeah, we had issues last year.
Well, sometimes you get, these are small batches, so sometimes the batches are bad.
True. Yeah. Good point.
Right. And so unfortunately, I'm a big fan of the Fighting Will Halls. It did not go well. Could never settle on a quarterback. When you settle on a quarterback, you see what happens. And Braylon Braxton is a good one.
Yeah, very good one. Very good one.
Agreed.
We're gonna go Russ, and then we'll end with Chad since this is his team. So, Russ, thoughts on Eagle Rare?
I get an ice cube anyway.
Okay. One that has changed now. You get it, and it looks like they've tried to model it the same, and it's not what it was like, say, 10 years ago. But the original Heaven Hill bottled in bond with the tack strip over the top and everything was kind of what I was thinking, because they have a tradition that goes back a long way. A lot of wins from a couple of decades ago that made them one of the premier non-big school football teams. So I kind of associate it with that. But you get Heaven Hill bottled in bond now is not the same as what the old Heaven Hill bottled in bond was.
Nice, Chad.
Damn, Russ, that's the smartest thing you've said all night.
Hey, listen, earlier I said you were 92, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Sorry, Destiny, don't get mad at me again. But I picked out 2 for Southern. And Dave, don't jump me just yet. You got to hear me out. At the beginning of the season, my first choice would have been an Old Charter 8-year. And that was the very first drink of brown bottle I ever had. And it's a lot like the history of Southern Miss. It's nothing to write home about, but the history and the pride in it it's 1 in a million. We have a huge, if y'all haven't noticed on social media and the Twitters, the Southern Miss fans are very prideful. If you pick on one, you better stand by because the rest are going to come after you. They've even gotten on me, and I'm like, whatever, guys. But yeah, at the beginning of the year, I had Southern with that Old Charter 8, and up until last weekend, sorry, Destiny, I'm riding. I was riding high. I'm like, all right, Blanton's gold, baby. Smooth and delicious, hard to find. If you get your hands on it, you're not going to be upset. And well, after last weekend, man, just pick any rock gut whiskey or bourbon you want to drink. There you are. That's how I feel after last weekend. Just didn't show up, didn't play, and got absolutely owned and throttled. What you got there? What you got?
Got your Blanton's Gold.
Oh, you stinker. I had a bottle. And there's a group of us that play the Southern Alumni Homecoming Golf Tournament up there in Hattiesburg every year. Well, one of our good friends, Dr. Jim Call, was leaving Southern Miss and moving on to another college. And I had a bottle of Blanton's Gold with me. And everybody in our group, a few other people signed it. And we gave it to him on the first hole. And so we're sipping on Blanton's Gold the entire day. And I gave him that bottle. And so I gave mine away. But if I can find another one, I'm going to get it. I don't want to pay that price for it.
Yeah, I'm sure
I'm jealous. I think, Gabe, what'd you pay for yours, if you don't mind me asking?
I think I got my gold. I think I got that MSRP, the gold.
So I got mine for MSRP. This would have been 2 years ago, and it was $150.
Yeah,
when I got mine. So I don't know when you got yours, Dave.
That's a good question. Here's the other one. Hold on a second. This one, I don't think I paid quite MSRP, but this is supposed to be the one.
Which one?
This is straight from the barrel.
Oh, that barrel pick's about. Yeah. I had a bottle of it, and mine came from. I had a good friend of mine who was working as a contractor in South Korea at the time, and he brought me a bottle, and we traded off a couple. And I want to say MSRP for the barrel was bumping $2.
That's what I paid,
and it's worth every
penny. Yeah. We'll probably talk about Blanton's a little bit more later on.
Let's go.
Yeah, I don't know, Dave. I have no clue on this. The biggest point differential in the history of the sunbelt. Feel like the Dukes have to okay a pace for the books. And I guess that's alluding to the CFP possibility. He thinks, I guess, that they've got to crush everybody in order to make.
Well, they only got one more game in the conference left, the regular season.
Yeah.
And if they're playing a banged up Southern Miss team with Liddy, that's not going to look great.
No.
There's only so much time. I thought they ran it up. I don't care that they ran it up last week against App State. You got to do what you got to do. But then I had a bunch of people tell me they didn't really run it up. They scored 58 points. You ran the ball game up.
Yeah, see, I thought he was talking about like in conference, like points scored and points allowed for the season. Is that what you're talking about in the history for point differential?
Maybe you're right on that.
It's got to be pretty close. And it's got to be JMU over the last few years, right? Because they just have allowed nothing.
True.
What was Marshall's last year?
I don't know. You can look it up. I'll try to look that up here in a minute. But I know their JMU's 2023 was pretty good because they had a great defense that year too.
Yeah.
2022 might have been a great defensive year for them. Their first year in, but no, I know Marshall when they had that killer defense. That was last year. It probably would have been pretty good, but we also did not score a lot that year. JMU has scored a lot this year and not given up a lot this year. So
then I was going to say Jamie Chadwell in Coastal under Grayson. Yeah,
but I can't remember that was before like we caught the tail end of that. The first couple of years, did they have an amazing defense to go with it?
I don't think they had an amazing defense, but they always seemed to put up like 45 points.
Yeah.
Like every week. Yeah. There weren't too many 14-7 stinkers in there.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. We'll get back into the pairing here with Georgia Southern up next. Old Forester, traditional, rooted, old school. Southern is a program with heritage, option, football roots, rabid fans, pride in doing things the hard way. Old Forester is the original bottled bourbon, a perfect fit for the Eagles program, rich with history. Is Chad, you got something on in the background maybe?
Yeah, I can turn it off.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me move. I'm too old and fat for this. Shut up, Russ.
Oh, man.
I knew it was coming. I waited on it. I knew.
I'm not giving you that low-hanging fruit. Yeah, I was watching TV earlier, and I forgot to turn it down. My bad.
All good. I just could hear it, and I was wondering if it was something that suddenly turned on back there. But
no, it was me.
Thoughts on Old Forester as Chad takes a sip. Let's start with Dave there. What do you think about a rooted football tradition for sure? The school in general, pretty good in some sports, pretty routinely towards the top in some things.
Yeah. See, if we're talking about the whole program, it's got some serious tradition. You could have gone really Jim Beam white label on this. For my generation, they had the original Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
And the only reason I know about that is because a friend of mine who I worked with went to Georgia Southern. So we were watching Adrian Peterson before anybody who knew who the Oklahoma Adrian Peterson was. This guy played for the Bears, and he's like Lincoln Perry. He's like 5'7", 5'8", just a little guy. And that's when Georgia Southern was winning all their championships and playing in the, what you could have done. What did they play? What was the Division I AA championship game named? You remember?
No, because we were in several of them, and
wasn't it the Alonzo Stagg Bowl?
Ooh,
I don't recall that at all.
I think is the Stag the D2. I think that's the D2 championship. Maybe
is that D2.
I think so.
Oh, Division III. All right,
Division III.
Anyways,
but that would have been good.
Stag popped into my mind. Nonetheless, you could have gone Jim Beam white label there with this one because of the rich and Old Forester is a good one too. The rich history of Georgia Southern, right? It hasn't been great as of late compared to what they were, but they just have such a rich tradition. And again, it has to be the smallest market in the sunbelt, and they regularly bring the fans in when the fans have something to cheer about. And they almost beat Georgia Tech in basketball last night.
Yeah, I was there for that. I was there for that one.
So it's your fault.
Weirdly enough. Yeah, it is. Yep. I'm sorry I couldn't pull them through. But no, they honestly, if you ask me, they should have won that game. If like a little rebound or two could have been the difference. You know what I mean? One of those small things at the time, and you're like, man, wish we would have had that. But that could have changed that game because it was only a 2-point final. Russ, thoughts on Old Forester for Georgia Southern?
That's pretty good. I was trying to think of something that would run up on you because they had a lot of rushing success over the years, especially in FCS and then when they came up from FCS. And I couldn't think of what that would be, but I'll take Old Forester. There's like 15 different versions of Old Forester you could pick, but yeah, I mean, that's as good as any.
Nice. Also, Warren says it was Phoenix City, Alabama for years. I'm guessing, is that when he's saying the smallest market in the Sun Belt? Is there, or maybe he's saying the championship game? I'm not sure what that's
Stag Bowl.
Oh, the Stag Bowl. Stag Bowl. Yeah. Okay. Got it. All right, Chad, thoughts on Old Forester for Georgia Southern and who you had?
Yeah, I'm talking of the rich tradition for them. I'll stay with that Old Forester, and I'll hit you with that 1920 Prohibition that they've got out.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it's any of their 1900 line is delicious, but the 1920 Prohibition style stands out to me because when Prohibition came about and everybody was fighting to try and stay afloat, stay alive, and keep something coming in to make money, they adjusted their recipes and came out with this damn Prohibition when it was able to keep things afloat and keep things going legally. So that reminds me a little bit of Georgia Southern, rich in history, deep in pride, just like Southern.
There we go. Well, this one's a little bit newer to the scene, but paired James Madison up with Knob Creek. Knob Creek, not newer to the scene, obviously, but James Madison, strong, high character bourbon with staying power. Knob Creek is a premium, possibly a bit pretentious, but earning it all the same, exactly like JMU's Rise in the Belt. Well-crafted, full-bodied, reliable in any setting. This is a program that screams quality you can trust. I think that's true now with what we've seen them do since they've come on to the scene. Russ, let's start with you on this one and work our way up with the thoughts on you could have gone with the championship drive bourbon, I guess, right?
Sure, but that's so niche, right? I'm thinking if we're pairing these, we're trying to pair something that everyone knows or can get on a shelf somewhere. And I don't know. So I think of JMU as royal. They have the history, they have the success and things like that. I don't really know what to do with that except for make it more of a something that's mainstream and everything. And I keep thinking of like Maker's Mark Double Oak or something like that. I don't know. I mean,
that's a little high end and pretentious.
Yeah, and none of these are going to be really perfect by all of us, right? We're never going to nail these things, but if I had to get something off like the top of my head, that's what I'd go for.
Nice. Dave?
See, I know Dominick did this on purpose because as JMU is named after one of the founding fathers of the country, so is Knob Creek. Yeah. So Illinois claims to be the land of Lincoln, except Abraham Lincoln was born in the state of Kentucky. His childhood home is on Knob Creek. Mm-hmm. So Booker No, the master distiller, Jim Beam's grandson, named the bourbon in honor of Abraham Lincoln.
I
was
definitely
unaware of
did
that.
do that on purpose.
You absolutely did.
I'll be
man.
dipped in spit and fed to a hog. Shut up, Russ.
I think that's my new podcast. That's going to be the new podcast.
Shut up, Russ.
Shut up,
That's your
Russ.
new.
Shut up,
that's
Russ.
that's
Well,
your new podcast.
I did that. I had that going back in Lafayette for a while, but yeah, shut up, Russ sounds better than shut up, Dave. Rolls
Yeah.
better off the tongue.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Welcome to another edition of Shut Up, Russ.
Where I just start talking and I get to hear, and everybody just says, "Shut up, Russ."
Don't tell KD that. He might make a new segment for your guys' show.
Hey, we'll take it, especially if we can find a sponsor.
As long as I get credit for it, trademark.
Sponsored by duct tape. Chad, do you have anybody different you had thought to pair up with the Dukes of JMU?
Just a smidge, but I'll agree with the pretentiousness of the knob and everything like that. But with the way they've come into the league and just, I'm not going to say steamrolled everybody.
It's close.
Close. But with the way they've come in with that attitude of, I don't want to say holier than thou, but definitely the I'm better than you, come get me. I'm going Pappy 12 and 13.
Okay.
I'm giving them that pat. I'm going, and in my opinion, the 12 and 13, they're highly, just like JMU right now, they're highly sought after. Everybody's trying to catch them, and everybody's trying to beat them.
There you go.
And that Pappy 12 or 13 of all the Pappies that are available out there, those are the two best ones, followed by the 15. Anything over that, you can keep it. I don't want
it.
Before we pass on from JMU, I want to share this that I have had conversations with guys from the Sound Off crew, and they kind of heard what I was saying and agreed with it. They are, when Marshall came up from FCS, and we're talking about the first year in FBS, what is now FBS, we had Randy Moss, and it was Chad Pennington's second year playing. We had success for years and years and years, won the conference like 5 out of the first 6 years, and just had all this success. And that's where JMU's at right now. And I told them that there's going to be a crash at some point. And it may be 8 years from now. It may be 15 years from now. It may be next year. With the way college sports have changed with transfer portal and NIL, it's totally different. You can't compare that era to this era. But Marshall was in that situation. And everyone in the MAC hated Marshall. I mean, we came in and just fucking dominated. I'm sorry for using that word on your show.
No, you're not.
But it was no. I mean, this is his show. I don't want to cause him problems. But shut up, Chad. With JMU, I talked to them about the same thing, and they were in agreement that like right now they're in this like they can do no wrong. And a lot of their fans that are, especially in college right now and everything, they've only been watching, they've only seen success. So you have to think about that. Several of us in here have seen our teams go through roller coasters and everything, and they have not, a large portion of their fan base. And I was there at that point. Like my first Marshall game was that I went to live was the first Marshall season in the new stadium. That was 1991. Well, and I mean, we were playing in the championship game in 91 and 92 and 93 and 94. And won in 92 and 96. We were in the championship game more than not in FCS. Then we moved up and nearly beat Ole Miss in the bowl our first season that we were there. And they have not seen any kind of lows yet. So I just keep that in mind when I've talked to a bunch of their fans. I count several of their fans close friends of mine. They've become friends over the years since we've been doing this stuff. But some of their fans are in that all we do is win. And it's going to come across as pretentious. And they don't know yet what a crash is like. And when it comes, they're going to probably come back down to earth a little bit. And then they're going to keep building back up because they're JMU and they have that culture and they have everything in place and it will be fine. So I know that like on the masses, when we deal with fans all around, fans is short for fanatics. So at Marshall, at Southern Miss, at Louisiana, at App, at any of our schools, we're going to come across some really interesting takes, right? But you have to understand that the majority of their fans that are posting online have never seen a losing season. They've never seen anywhere close to a losing season. They've just seen win, 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 win. That's their mentality. So to me, it's understandable.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. John chiming in from JMU Sound Off, and it was a gracious host while I was up there. Really good guy. Great tailgate scene at JMU. Probably almost all of us are familiar with that. And you're right. I mean, the pretentious thing is, again, you described why it exists. But here's the case study on what you just spoke about. This team right here. App State is now going through the downturn that you're speaking of. They were just like JMU, came in, success, and then here we go. So I've got them with Smoke Wagon. I'm going to go with the long-term outlook here instead of just this year. Frontier attitude, desert outlaw spirit, why it fits. App State football has always felt like that high-altitude gunslinger, gritty, fearless, unbothered by expectations. Smoke Wagon's Western swagger matches the Mountaineers' identity, tough, rustic, and built for the big moments. Again, maybe sans this year. But the other thing was they used to play wagon wheel within the stadium. They've kind of gone away from that this year, honestly. But they used to get everybody singing that thing in there. And that's, in my mind, what kind of got me thinking this direction here. Dave, let's start with you on your thoughts on what was just said and obviously the pairing here.
I think that's a good pick. Once again, Smoke Wagon out west. It's in Vegas, and the higher the proof, the better. I'm becoming a bourbon snob in that regard, but some of that barrel proof stuff from Smoke Wagon is supposed to be very, very good. I don't know if I have any Smoke Wagon.
I can't lie. I've never had Smoke Wagon myself, but I think it looks like a cool bottle. It's also black and gold. It was just
very cool bottle.
A lot of things that kind of went into this decision on this one that made it a little bit easier there. Chad, let's go to you next.
Yeah, I've yet to have the Smoke Wagon. Very great things about it. But I'm going with one of those. Shit, all my stuff's been unicorn pretty much tonight. And this is another one. I compare them to the Midwinter Dram from
High West.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Pays to have experts on here.
Yeah, no, I just got lost in thought. Some years that Midwinter Dram has just been out damn standing. And it's one of those that when you get your hands on it, you want another one. It's just that good. And then there's been some years, I want to say last year or 2 years ago, the Midwinter Dram just wasn't good. And that's half this year. They're just not that good.
Mhm.
But overall, I mean, and you can say this about, I think about any school in the Sun Belt, whether it comes to tailgate traditions, the history of the school. I think each school is very high on their traditions, and App being one of them, just like Marshall, just like Southern, ULA. Sorry, ULA fans, don't kill me.
Are there any on here?
Probably not.
There might be one, might be.
Sorry, Raising Cajun. But I forgot where I was going with this.
Well, that's all right. We'll pick up the pace a little bit.
Yeah, let's pick it up.
We'll go with Russ, and then we'll start rifling through these a little bit faster here.
Yeah, I tried to think of something that was mountain related because I walked up 85 mountains when I had a nearly broken leg there 2 years ago, but couldn't come up with anything. So I don't know. I'm going to go with, I don't know, Smoke Wagon, just because of that bottle. It looks perfect.
Yeah.
Right next to
It
that
does,
logo.
right? It does, yeah. Let's go to another A school, A state here, Arkansas State. I paired them up again. I kind of went with the red, since it was a red school. I found the red labeled Wild Turkey. But high character, blue collar, unmistakable was the description for Wild Turkey. A State, home to a waterfall inside the stadium, a hint at the nature around Jonesboro. Wild Turkey fits that feel into a bottle. No frills, no filter, and proud of it. Dave, Wild Turkey for the Arkansas State Red Wolves.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. They were, when I first came to the Sun Belt, they were the rival for the Cajuns. The coaches were not buying; they were renting. Right? We had, I think Hugh was first, or no? Was Hugh first and then Gus, or Gus was first and then Hugh? But Hugh Freeze, Gus Malzahn.
I think it was Gus, then Hugh.
Blake was there. Blake Anderson was there for a good amount. Yeah. But Brian Harsin, Brian Harsin, maybe he came in before Blake Anderson, and so it was one right after another. And so it was something different each and every year. So maybe this would be better if this was like a Wild Turkey single barrel, because it's something different each and every time.
True.
Now you're going with Butch Jones, who's done a solid job, right? It took a little bit of time to turn it around. He went to a bowl game a couple years ago, won a bowl game last year. They got a chance to go bowling with a win over the Cajuns, or in their final week of the season. It's a solid program. The basketball team is packing them in. You would have liked to seen a few more people, with that Southern Miss game a couple of weeks ago. But, they were contending. All of a sudden, they were contending. They had like a 4-game losing streak in the middle of the season, and they're contending and a loss to ULM. Does that count as 2 losses? And all of a sudden, they're contending for the Sun Belt West. So, sorry, Russ. Shut up, Russ.
It's got a stray there.
Russ catches strays.
Little jokes, little ULM joke. They're big boys; they can handle it. But no, I mean, they've just done a great job, and they're competing. Unfortunately, they had some bad losses. All 4 in a row, and all of a sudden they turn it around, and they end up hosting Southern Miss, and again they pulled a Marshall and turned. In fact, they did Marshall one better. They turned the ball over 6 times. And lost by, can you imagine turning the ball over 6 times and losing by 6? At least Marshall got the doors blown off of them turning the ball over 5 times. And so I think Butch Jones has done a good job, and Wild Turkey they're a solid program. They can be flashy, but they can also be solid. And I think that, the Wild Turkey lineup embodies that.
Nice. John from JMU Sound Off says we got to get each one of you some Champions Drive bourbon. Christmas gifts incoming.
Yes,
John, I'll DM my address here.
There we go.
Yeah. At me, John. I'll DM you my address too.
Dave, a question for you since you were on the mic here last. He wants to know if you're coming to the Sunbelt Championship game, so you can update him there.
I'm working on that. We do have a hotel reservation. Apparently, I wasn't quick enough to ask for the day off. I need to switch with somebody. Hopefully, someone will do me a solid because I have the weekend off. So Super Genius didn't look until about a month ago that the game was on a Friday night. So I gotta get Friday off to come back. I figured it was on a Saturday, but again, that's a me problem. So the plan is to go. I do have a hotel reservation in Harrisonburg. And Dominic, just to let you know, what's halfway in between Harrisonburg. In fact, I did the GPS today. What's exactly halfway between Louisville and Harrisonburg is Russ's side apartment. That's where I'm going to crash on the way to Harrisonburg on that Thursday night. Does he know that? Is his headphones on?
They're on, and no joke, that's totally fine. Honestly,
I'm kidding.
Yeah, seriously.
So hopefully we'll make that happen. I should find out. Hopefully tomorrow. There's 3 people. Well, one's gone. One's getting married. He may not be there tomorrow, but 2 others may help me out. And I switched with a young girl last month. Hopefully she'll switch with me. So
nice. Well, he says you have tailgate plans then, so count for that. You have a cooler place to stay halfway in between. Halfway in between for me was Lynchburg, Virginia, home of Liberty. I made a little funny video.
Oh, you poor bastard.
I know. There was I made a stench video with my son and asked him if he, let some gas go in the car. And then I said, "Oh, I know what it is." And I turned it to the road sign of Liberty. There was a lot of people who thought I was referencing JMU because in the post I said on our way to App State JMU. A lot of JMU fans got upset with that. And I'm like, I think if you pause that video, you're going to see we all agree on this one. But yeah.
Good no bourbon there. You weren't getting any bourbon there.
No bourbon. No bourbon.
Speaking of dry places, Arkansas State. I don't understand this day. I don't understand this day and age. It's 2025, and yet you're still in dry counties.
Yep.
No, just make them wet. And anyway, just by God,
I think they've tried. I think they've tried, but they have to amend the Constitution.
They do.
Feels like that.
I mean, I got a prime example for you guys. And you can tell me to shut up at any point, and I'll just
shut up, Chair.
All right. See how easy that was?
No, elaborate.
Oh, man.
No, there's a county here in Mississippi that's outside their little city, outside Jackson, and this past voting, all the citizens of this particular little city voted yes to wanting to have liquor stores in this particular little small town city, which I get. It's the Bible Belt of the Jackson area. And this particular city council went to vote, and it was I think it ended up being a 4-3 no vote.
Wow.
Not allow liquor stores. And it drives me, and I understand why some of these cities and counties, they don't want the drinking and driving, and I don't either. I'm well aware of that, and I'm against all of that. But thinking in terms of tax dollars and revenue to your city, I'm not saying risk it, but sometimes tax dollars revenue wins out. But that's just my opinion. They didn't ask me for my opinion, and y'all didn't either. But I'm just gonna shut up. Like
well, you could have the drinking and driving aspect when they go to get more, and then they're coming back too, right? I mean, that's a stretch.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, you just if you have prohibition, what happened? People just made it their own, and
they
all
got
that.
it.
You're
going to way to get it.
You're going to get it somewhere, right? And it behooves me to. Well, I'll just shut up. But I'm from a place that tried to vote against that from my own hometown. That's like a town of 400. I'm talking like really small and everything. They didn't want to have a place that was bent on tourism for the Hatfield-McCoy trails, which is an ATV hotbed through Gilbert, West Virginia, where my hometown is. They didn't want to have a place where people could gather and have like alcohol with dinner. I'm not talking about, you go to a bar and get drunk and, like it just says, hey, we encourage binge drinking. Come here and we'll funnel it down your gullet until you drive down the roads endangering the lives of everyone around you. You couldn't find a place in town where you could have a beer with your steak, and that sort of backwards thinking never gets me. But I do, to tie this back in, if you bring up Arkansas State, I am no Butch Jones fan. And I associate current Arkansas State with Butch Jones. So I'm going to say JTS Brown. I hate it. It does not taste good at all. And that's what I'm putting with Arkansas State because of Butch Jones.
So we're back to chicken cock, is what you're saying.
Pretty much, yeah.
There you go. All right. Well, this next one is going to be a little break from the norm. ULM pairing with Jack Daniels. Yes. Tennessee whiskey. Yes, we know the chaos here is intentional. A household name with a hint of rebellion. ULM are the charming misfits of the sunbelt. Jack isn't bourbon, but it's familiar and everyone has a story with it, usually a wild one. ULM kind of fits that energy here, I think. But Dave, let's start with you on Jack being paired with ULM here.
Well, you got a rye sitting there. Did you do that on purpose?
That just happened to be the thing that maybe popped up first, maybe.
So that would be, in that case, the bottle is a little spicy, and we can talk about the current coach and interim AD, Bryant Vincent, who's a little spicy. He did tell me that Aiden Armenta is going to be the best quarterback in the Sun Belt. Russ, is Aiden Armenta the best quarterback in the Sun Belt this year?
No.
I think Marshall's got two quarterbacks that are better than Aiden Armenta.
I would say we have maybe 7.
Yeah.
I think Southern has the best quarterback of all, but that's
correct. But we sort of know that. We knew that one going in.
Yeah.
All right. And despite what he did last game, he played pretty good. Liddy played pretty well 2 games ago. Here's the problem with Jack. It doesn't taste good going down, and then you wake up with a massive headache the next morning. And that's like watching ULM football.
Yeah.
Kind of. They are a hangover. They are a walking hangover is what they are.
You could go with Jack, Jim, or Crown for ULM. But if you want to go with, if you want to go with a bad decision, #Chad decision, ULM to me is Fireball.
Ooh.
Because you're going to drink it. Oh, that was pretty good. And then you're going to have another one. That wasn't too bad either. Well, by that third one, you're on that Fireball train, which is a train wreck, which is what ULM football is right now.
Listen, I'm gonna upset all 19 ULM fans, and it's at Russ Livingood, 1S 1G. We're talking 10 high here.
Oh,
yeah, and that is
that's
the number.
rock good.
That is the number of wins across all athletic department that you'll hit. That is across the millions in the budget that you'll hit for your athletic department. Right now, 10 high and ULM are synonymous in the Sun Belt. It's like the lowest when you look at everything. And seriously, I don't mean this as vitriol as it sounds, but I'm just looking at the facts. When you look at the dollars, when you look at the revenue, when you look at the attendance, when you look at the performance on athletic programs, it's that way across the board. And I mean, I hate to be realistic on this when we're having fun, but I'm realistic. And it's 10 high. I mean, you could put Barton's, you could put whatever you want that is like Old Crow's a little too high for them. But I'm being dead serious. ULM would probably do much better if they dropped down a level and didn't have all the costs incurred that they would have with our conference, with travel and everything.
Question.
Yeah.
So, okay, Russ, so to that point, say ULM does drop down. Who do you bring in?
It's a totally different show. I could talk about that for hours and hours. But, I mean, when you look at the financial struggles that they're having right now, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse. And, again, it's at Russ Livingood. You can send me all the hate mail you want. I'm just being realistic. They are losing money trying to compete at this level, and they're not really competing.
Fair enough.
Not wrong there. I had a little help with this next one from Dave. I won't lie. I went Texas State, Angels Envy, sleek modern finish with flair, but overrated. Texas State has reinvented itself in the last few years. New look, new recruiting energy, new swagger, but there's still been a bit of a letdown. Angels Envy with its port barrel finish and refined profile matches that fresh stylist identity, but doesn't live up to the best of the best. Dave, since you helped me write that one. No, I'm just kidding. He didn't write it.
This is where I'm going to go Blanton single barrel and just overrated. The only thing that's not overrated at Texas State is their softball program, which is always very good. But the basketball team seems to be overrated. The baseball team is overrated. I think G.J. Kinney's done a great job. He's lifted the standards there. But obviously they fell short last year, supposed to win the West. They just got their first win last week, playing against a backup quarterback. And, you know, they haven't quit. And so I'll because what you're going to get with a Blanton single barrel is it's going to be something different each and every time. So I think we used that single barrel reference before, but it's just inconsistent. They have a shot to go to their third straight bowl game, but just a little bit overrated for the last few years. Before that, they were, awful, right? I mean, they were just they were ULM with money.
Yeah, they were Jack Daniels
bad. But now, I mean, that's the thing. Blanton's is a good bottle, but it is highly sought after. There you go. We talked about that. I have a bottle of the straight from the barrel, so that's a good one. There's nothing overrated about $200, so that's a pretty good bottle. But Blanton's the regular and single barrels. You know, the straight from the barrel is impossible to find, but the straight from the barrel or the single barrel is, you know, it used to be $60. It's now $75, and you walk into stores here, even in Kentucky, and it's like $150, and it is not worth $150. It's a cool bottle. People collect the tops. I'm among them, but you can do much better and find a single barrel for $60. The Larceny Barrel Proof or Knob Creek single barrels come to mind.
Agreed.
Before I get anybody else's thoughts, real quick, 3 poor decisions. They're pretty good following for all you whiskey and bourbon fans. I've just been made aware of them this past week. We tried to kind of get something together, but again, with me traveling for work, didn't quite get everything together for this show. But look for them to do something with us here in the future. It looks like there's 3 guys a part of that, and give them a follow. I think I found them on like 4 or 5 platforms already. So
yeah, they're pretty fart smellers. So
there you go.
Unlike this, I don't know. Yeah, we're fart smellers too, I guess. I'm staying with the Angels Envy, but I'm going with the rye. Nothing special about it when you get that first little taste. Okay, it's meh, whatever. But then that finish sneaks up on you. This is pretty good.
Yep.
Sorry, Destiny. See last weekend when they just took or miss.
Took it.
It's got. If you've never had that rye before, there's nothing special that front end, but on that back end, when you allow it to just wow, it's like you've been eating pancakes or waffles. It has that maple syrup finish to it. So it's real sweet on the end. What makes it go, damn, this is pretty good. Hence, last weekend. They've just been snake bit all year. But, I'll agree with Dave. There's nothing real special about them. They're there. They're like a thorn in your side.
There we go. I'm with you. The rum finish is amazing there. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. They're like a thorn in your side. They're gonna piss you off. It's like one of those. You're sitting outside on a nice summer night or whatever, and the damn gnats are always buzzing around your ear. Texas State right there.
All right, Russ, do you agree with the gnat analogy or the Angels Envy?
All right, I'm going to go with Willet and something that I've never gotten the hype. And that is the same thing with Texas State. I have never gotten the hype. They have never consistently had a winning season. I don't know if you could even say they've had a winning season a third of the time. And I'm right there with Willet. I mean, I've had it, and I just don't get it.
Nice. Well, here's one you will get, I think. This one's another to the nose thing here. But Buffalo Trace for the Thundering Herd. Loved everywhere, solid every time, legendary without trying. Marshall football. This is written before I knew you're coming on here, Russ, so don't think I'm blowing smoke here. Marshall football has blue-collar soul and a national following. Buffalo Trace is the people's bourbon, dependable, respected, and widely enjoyed. So, Russ, let's get your thoughts on this one first.
Not a bad pick. I feel like it is a little mainstream, but those that are in the bourbon will say my pick here next is mainstream as well. But I'm going Weller Special Reserve, and that is because I feel like it is a great bourbon at a lower value, so it's not like your more expensive bourbons, but it still produces good quality. And of course, I am as biased as anyone that is ever going to comment on this. So I welcome any criticism. I welcome anything, whatever. But I have to go with what I personally love, which is Marshall football, Marshall basketball, Marshall baseball, Marshall soccer, Marshall everything. And I'm a really big fan of Weller, which used to be $12 a bottle. I still get it around $26 after tax, right across the border in Ohio. Right across the border in Ohio, they are not allowed to mark it up over MSRP.
Send me your Venmo.
Marshall is Huntington. Huntington is right on the border of Kentucky and Ohio. So we are in the tri-state area. It is routine for me to go to my office in Kentucky. I pass through Ohio to get there on some days. And there's a place right across the border from West Virginia and Kentucky and Ohio where I get it for $26, or for the handle that doesn't have an actual handle, but that's what I still call it. $62 after tax. So I get a really, really good value from that. And it used to be my house bourbon. When people came over to my house, I would put that in a decanter, and they didn't know what it was, and they would just assume it was something like extremely, extremely high dollar. So I'm going to put that up there with Marshall. Anybody that doesn't agree with that, I don't care.
There you go. Chad, let's go to you next then on that one. What do you think?
I was disappointed with Russ. And not because of the Weller choice, but because he doesn't also include that high quality Appalachian mountain water that they're known for. That hurt me a little bit, but staying with that Weller line, I'm going the 107.
Okay.
With that weeded, that nice flavor, rich in tradition.
A little burn.
Not much of a burn. It doesn't burn. I'll take the 107 over all the Weller products, in my opinion. I like that
Weller
nice little
Antique?
Yeah, same deal. 107.
Yeah. Okay.
Antique 107. Yeah, as a matter of fact. Ooh.
Yeah, Weller 107 is the antique.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, this one. Oops.
Yeah.
Right here.
Okay. I see that now.
Yeah. So then this right here, this is March football to me, along with that high quality mountain water that Russ gave me last year. That's still sitting in my fridge and
made out of a copper bathtub.
Yeah, but it doesn't taste like it.
Dave, what are your thoughts on the Marshall pairing here?
Well, I'm gonna go a little Jim Beam Black. For those who know, this is one of the best bottles that you can get in that Weller Special Reserve price range. And the people who know about it are really passionate about it, kind of like Marshall Herd fans. So this was invented by T. Jeremiah Beam, to honor his father. He was Jim's son. And so it's the same mash bill as Jim Beam, except it's aged longer and actually adds less water. It's 90 proof compared to 80 proof. And because it has that family tradition, and we know how much family means to Marshall, I'm going to go with Jim Beam Black.
That's
how much tradition means to Marshall. Tough to beat Jim Beam Black.
That's a good call. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, speaking of that family tradition, Marshall and App State, storied rivalry here, right? But this week I wanted to shout out Marshall for, first of all, a great jersey and uniform combination, but they've also put the sticker for Coach Sean Clark on the back of the helmet. So that's really
awesome.
cool thing. And that, it just shows, I mean, he was a West Virginia guy, Sean Clark was, so, but it's a really cool little shout out. And like you said, kind of the family of football more than just, we're going to play these guys in football kind of thing. So quick shout out there. Chad, I want to finish your thought there.
I forgot what I was going to say. So,
okay.
Shut up, Chad.
Well, all right.
We've got just two more. I do have one for La Tech if we want to get into that, but we do have two more.
They don't count. They're not in the family yet.
What do we got there, Dave?
Just showing it off to Chad.
Okay. Hold on there, little buddy.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, you got it too?
Okay.
Ah.
Just not as much.
Not as much. You need to refill yours.
Okay, Dave.
Well,
All right, hold on. Dave's going to play this game.
Ooh, what year is that?
That's a good bottle.
What's the next pick?
It's not a good pairing.
I got the next one.
Which one was that, Dave?
You had the 2401. I got the 2402.
Taste of this? I'll send you a taste.
The bottle battle.
Good
Oh
stuff.
man.
Oh, shit. Shoot. Oopsie. Oh well. I'll put it over here.
3-4 decision saying that's a game-changing bottle, and we had 2 of them on the show, so that's great stuff right there.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, back to the not so great stuff. Georgia State paired with Evan Williams here. Affordable, accessible, easy to find. Atlanta is easy to find on a map, but the local crowd usually chooses to go elsewhere. They're always around, but they need something more. Evan Williams is the same, always on the shelf, but usually paired with something else to help bring it up a level. Russ, let's start with you because you guys just got done playing Georgia State here recently. So thoughts on the Atlanta vibe with the Evan Williams pick?
Oh, man. Listen, I really, really admire the fan base of Georgia State because they're passionate even when others are not. And all they want is to compete. And I don't feel like they're given that chance by everything with the athletic department. But I have to go with something that is extremely, extremely mainstream, but just does not live up or get to the support and everything. So I have to go with something. It's not a bad whiskey or bourbon. It's just like it's not supported. I don't know. It's like way over hyped, not hyped. Too readily available, I guess.
There you go.
And I'm going with Maker's Mark, and it has nothing to do with the flavor of it. It has nothing to do with anything. It's just so commercial and readily available that it is the same thing with 55,000 students at Georgia State, but they can't get 1,500 to go to a game. And I don't have a good analogy because there's no bourbon that fits that, but that's the best I can come up with.
Yeah. Oh, man. Chad, let's go to you next.
Same. Take your pick from, the Evan, the Old Crow,
Old Crow might be better, but
I mean, it's a toss-up, Now the Evan spice cider that they do at Christmas time.
Mm-hmm. I had that.
That's actually pretty good.
So that's like their basketball team a few times.
Yeah, once a year thing. But yeah, they're just. I mean, nothing against. What's that say?
You need to watch. You needed to watch Georgia State. A lot of it.
Can Russ give me a lobotomy instead?
I can, yeah.
Okay, I think I'd rather have a lobotomy from Russ than
now. I'm no pediatrician like you said you were earlier. But...
I said orthopedic surgeon. You
man,
heard what you wanted to hear.
Man.
So, yeah. I mean, I concur with the Evan or the Old Crow, or it's there. It'll ease the pain, but you got to mix it with something to make it taste good.
Listen, these guys, all they want is a competitive athletic team, and they have plenty of alumni to choose from, but so many alums just go with like Georgia's right there and things like that.
Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech, Georgia, and all that they deserve so much better. There's nothing at all wrong with wanting to be better than what you're offered. They just do not have the support, and it's not their fault, right? As fans, it's not their fault.
Right. Nope. Dave, thoughts on Georgia State, or you kind of agree?
I do agree. They just have not taken the next step. Because it's been a minute, we forget about their run in basketball. Ron Hunter and his son, and Ron Hunter, winning an NCAA tournament game while breaking his ankle at the same time, which a feat will never happen like that again. They should be better. They and let's be honest, they and ODU are really, the sleeping giants in the Sun Belt. We were talking about Statesboro being the smallest, and Georgia State's got to have the biggest market. Them and ODU, and they don't seem to be able to do anything with it. They got a new basketball arena. They probably need to figure out what to do with a football stadium because it's, can find a better, pack it in a better high school stadium to play in. That would make it more cozy environment and maybe a home field advantage. But it's a struggle. Evan Williams isn't bad, but you get what you pay for.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shout out to the State of Atlanta guys. I love listening to their show. They did a great job with Russ the other week. They actually spoke about the stadium being in kind of disarray. But what's funny is apparently because of renting out the venue, Georgia State could literally put nobody in any game and they would still make money off the stadium every year. But they're making money probably because they're not recycling that money to update and continue to get that stadium in a better quality or condition. So that's kind of interesting and maybe partly to the reason more people don't show up. I haven't personally been to say that I can totally agree with it 100%, but if the guys that go there every week are saying that, then I'm not going to discount their thought process on that. So, Russ, did you hear from people that went to the game if they saw, stuff that was in disarray or anything with the stadium?
All they kept saying was there might have been 1,500 people there, and it's unfortunate, but the guys from State of Atlanta will tell you the same thing. I mean, they're not coming on their show and talking about like, oh, we had 25,000 people. They're not blowing smoke up anywhere, and they know what they have. They want more. They also told us on my show, hey, show up here. It's a free tailgate. You just park. And it's like right next to the stadium. So you're like, what's your revenue source, right? I mean, but they can't charge money because no one would pay to park there anyway. So I don't know. All I know is my heart goes out for them. I want them to do better. They deserve better. And I don't know.
Yeah. Well, one we do know about in the last official Sunbelt school we've got here tonight is Troy. I've paired them up with Colonel E.H. Taylor, premium, strong heritage, top-tier craftsmanship. Troy is disciplined, physical, and polished. Everything about their football identity feels bottled in bond. E.H. Taylor is proudly structured bourbon with backbone, just like the Trojans. After a down year last year, they come back on the scene pretty strong here this year before these last few games where they've stumbled a little bit more. But I don't know, Dave, if you want to take it away with your thoughts on the Taylor here with Troy.
Well, that's a really good bottle you got in that one. The single barrel. We've talked about that before. That would be a good thing for this season because we just don't know what we're getting with Troy. They had fallen behind and made some miraculous comebacks. And now they can't seem to put any points on the board, whereas their quarterback was almost thrown for 500 yards a couple weeks ago. So we don't know what's going on there. But the good one should be, if they ever can get their act together, is Clyde Mays. Clyde Mays, Kaneka, is opening up a distillery in Troy. Of course, it was supposed to be open up in 24, supposed to be open up in 25, and we'll see if it opens up in 26. They are coming off a Sunbelt championship in basketball. So they went to the tourney last year. So that E.H. Taylor is That bottle is exquisite. That's a really, really good bottle. And, you know, if you've ever been there, their facilities they're all right next to each other. You don't have to go too far to get to them. And they're all pretty good. Football's good. Basketball arena is good. Baseball is a hitter's park, right? And so you're not going to get a lot of pitchers duels in those ball games. And they have a solid program. It'd be nice if the fans would show up a little bit more. But they have a solid program, and obviously E.H. Taylor small batch is a solid bottle. That single barrel is representing their basketball championship, which was a spectacular team last year.
Yeah, and a big double overtime victory against SDSU just the last night. Right?
Yeah. Do you know how many times I think I counted in the last two seasons, not this year, but the 2 seasons before, the amount of time San Diego State has given up 80 points?
Very few.
I think it's 3 total.
Jeez.
And 2 of those was to UConn and to North Carolina in the NCAA tournament. The other team that scored 80 was Gonzaga. That's it. Over the last 2 seasons, they've allowed the opponents to score 80 points 3 times. One was a national champion.
That's crazy. That is insane. But Chad, let's jump to you and we'll end with Russ on this one.
Okay. I like the EH. You know, it's a decent pour, decent little drink. You know, if you can get your hands on it, it's delicious. You know, but with me for T-Roy, I liken them to a wild turkey barrel pick or a store pick. You know, you never know what you're going to get, whether it be baseball, football, basketball, soccer, this, that, the other. You never know what you're going to get. But what I do know is T-Roy has owned Southern in the past few years. With them in 2 weeks. But for me, shout out the Wizard of Whiskey Shane Lott. You know, I'm going a wild turkey barrel pick because you don't know what you're going to get from barrel to barrel. It's crapshoot.
Russ?
Yeah, so if we're doing small batch, I think that is like so appropriate for Troy. So consistent, right on the mark and everything. They seem to be like so close to contenders in basketball, football, baseball, all that right across the board. I'm going with H. Taylor. It's a great pick, small batch.
Nice. Well, that wraps up all 14 teams. Like I said, I did throw in La Tech if we want to do that one real quick, but if we don't want to get into that, I understand.
We're at the family,
They may not be here until 27.
True. Also true.
27 now.
Yeah.
It was 26 they were coming in.
No, it's been 27 and it may become 26, but that hasn't happened yet. And I think, Dave, maybe you know more with that paperwork that CUSA wants to give them about what they've hidden in the background. That might make that harder.
Yeah, Conference USA is suing La Tech, so they're not going down without a fight, which is just stupid because it's the lawyers that are making money.
Did you get sued too, Russ?
Probably. I'm probably getting sued right now, but I can just tell you that Conference USA does not have the best lawyers. They do not have the best interpretation of what legal precedent may set. I would not put too much stock into them saying Southern Miss, Marshall, and ODU, you cannot join the Sun Belt immediately because that happened.
Yep.
Immediately. Judy and her crew are not very good at what they do. I would not be surprised if La Tech and this lawsuit it actually turns around to where they sue Conference USA and they settle out of court, which allows them to come in immediately. However, they might not come for a full year, and that would mean that divisions go away for a full year in football at the minimum for Sunbelt. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just not a fan of having 3 Louisiana schools. Number 1, but 2, no 3. And I mean, regionally, is La Tech a good fit for the West? Sure, but I think there's other schools that are out there that would be a better fit. I would take Western Kentucky over La Tech any day of the week, twice on Sunday.
And then we can have an actual bourbon school in this conference,
Exactly. Exactly.
We can all go up and see Dave more often.
You'd see a lot more Corvettes in this in this conference.
But I mean, I just, I'm on the fence about La Tech. It's just, I don't know.
I like the heated rivalry that they bring with a couple teams, and the fact that even with Marshall, like they have history from the CUSA days, so it kind of helps in some forms and facets. But I do understand that the 3 in Louisiana thing seems to be a little bit much.
I mean, for years, La Tech and Southern Miss had a great rivalry when we were Conference USA together. And now that, we're not the same conference, I mean, I still consider them to be a rival because we've played them for 100 friggin' years, it seems like. And then when we went over there earlier this year and, didn't play very well, or was it last year?
No, it was this year.
1 or 2. Yeah, this year. Thank you. There was nobody there.
And they were a good team at that point. I think they were a good team at that point, right? Yeah.
They were, and Southern Miss, we traveled fairly well. Especially if you're within a good driving distance, we're going to bring the fans. And we took our fair share, but for all the years that we played lots at Conference USA, and even before Conference USA, you were I'm just not a fan of it.
Yeah. Well, like you said, we can get into these conversations more heavily at another time because we just took out 2 hours of everybody's time. But I had fun with this one. I really enjoyed the expertise that you all brought to this. I'm not as strong knowledge base when it comes to the bourbon and the whiskey aspect. I enjoy drinking it, but I'm not as seasoned as you gentlemen. So it was a pleasure to hear your thoughts and opinions on these things. I tried to do my best to have at least some kind of pairing to visualize for us, but I'm glad that we had some other options to take and available there. Dave, do you want to tell people where to find your stuff? Yeah, I'm sure you're about to do a morning show shortly that we'll all take in tomorrow.
If you don't think I've already done it, yeah. I'm Dominick. I told you what time my bedtime was. You guys can find me at LockedOn Sunbelt, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from, audio or video. And on the Twitter, the X, it is SchultzCast. And I think it's SchultzCast3 on Instagram.
Okay. Russ?
Yeah, we're the Thundercast. We only do martial athletics, but you can find us anywhere. You just search the Thundercast, you're going to find us. And Dominick, I truly appreciate you having us on the show.
Thanks for being here. Chad, tell the people where they can find you.
Well, you should be able to find me at SBC Refs on the X. I've given that up. I still have access to it, but I've given that up to an admin for the X, however many seasons. But you get me on the X at Chad Dickens 4. pretty much on all my socials. And I just thank you, Don, for once again letting me come on and run my mouth for, like I said, I'm going almost 2 hours now. But it's fun getting on with y'all and talking bourbon, talking Sunbelt Conference football, and just everybody's different opinions of this, that, and the other. So it's been a great time. I've had a blast.
Same here. Sam says he just got here. He wants us to start over. I'm going to pass on that. But I do want to do something like this.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Again. Yeah. But thank you to one and all for tuning in and joining us here with this today. We hope to do something again in the future to further this. And thanks for watching and listening. See y'all later.